Welcome back to the poker vlog, guys. This is session number 25. For this one, we're going to be back at the win playing 2-5 no limit. This one's short and sweet. Honestly, just didn't feel like playing very long today, but trying to share every session with you, so let's get into the hands. 10 minutes in, we pick up ace king of diamonds in the big blind. Hijack player limps. Cutoff raises to 20. He has about 2,500 behind. Small blind calls the 20 and action's on us. Price is going up for sure. We 3-bet to 105. Hijack folds, and the original raiser from the cutoff makes the call. Small blind folds as well, and we go heads up to a flop of ace, queen, 6, rainbow. We have top with backdoor diamonds. I make a bet of 110 for value. He asks how much, and eventually decides on a call. For this price and our stack depth, I'd expect him to peel with a variety of hands. Gut shots like king jack, ace x, queen x holdings. Turn brings us a 5 of clubs. Nice brick, but puts 2 clubs on the board now. I'm pretty confident we still have the best hand, so I continue with a bet of 230, about half the pot. He thinks for about 15 seconds and eventually calls. I feel like he may have picked up some more equity with that club to be continuing with the call here, so we're looking for a blank on the river, and we get it. Brings a 6 of spades, pairing the board. It's a great card because we may get paid off by a worse ace now, since it will upgrade any ace to aces and 6s with a queen kicker. I don't think he's going to turn his hand to a bluff if I check the river, so I bet 250 to target worse aces and pairs of queens. After 30 seconds of deliberation, he ends up making a good laydown and then heads over to me, checks my camera, and politely asks if I'm recording faces. I tell him of course not. He says nice hand and heads back to his seat.
Thank you.
Very next hand, we are in the small blind with pocket queens. It's folded to the same player from last hand, who's in the hijack now. He raises to 20. Button folds, and I decide to play this one deceptively and flat. 90% of the time I'm 3-betting here, but we're both 400 big blinds deep, so decide on a call this time, and we go heads up to a flop of jack, jack 6 with 2 hearts. I check to the aggressor, and he bets 50. I can't imagine him betting pot on the flop with the jack here, so with that in mind I could raise and probably take it down, but want to keep some of his bluffs in. I make the call. Turn brings a 10 of diamonds. I check, and he slows down and checks back. River is a 9 of diamonds. Nothing much to worry about unless 7-8 gets there. We block king, queen, so I think about betting, but not really sure where we're going to get value from unless he turned to 10 or river to 9, so I like to check this one to keep bluffs in, and he checks back. We show the queens, and they're good. I think another good play might have been to bet pot size on the river. If he has any pair, he might have looked me up since the heart flush missed. Just 2 hands later, pocket queens again. Folds to the middle position player who raises to 20. He has 2,000 in his stack. This time I put in the 3-bet to 65. Action gets to the big blind who cold calls the 65. I played with this opponent before and have only seen premium hands from him. He has about 900 behind. The original raiser folds, so we go heads up to a flop 9-6-4 with 2 diamonds. He checks it to us. I bet 75 for value. I'm thinking if he calls he has 10s or jacks for sure. He does decide on a call. Heads up to a jack of hearts on the turn, which is not what we wanted to see. Kind of on the range we were putting him on. He checks to me, and I decide to check back for pot control. I'm also a little concerned because we're really only ahead of pocket 10s and maybe ace king of diamonds right now. River brings an 8 of spades. He checks again. Now I feel confident, feel like we're safe, and he might have exactly pocket 10s, so I make a bet of 120 for value. He's in the tank for a bit and eventually flashes the ace king offsuit and lays it down. I told him I was a little worried about jacks. He said he plays jacks the same way. Said he would have check raised me on the river there, so that would have been interesting. 5 minutes later, another premium hand, pocket 10s from +2. $10 button straddle is on. Under the gun player limps. I raise it to 40. Folds back to the limper who makes the call. We go heads up to a flop of king jack 3 with 2 spades. He checks to me. I can probably make a small c-bet here, but decide to check this one back. Feel like it's probably all over his early limping range. Turn pairs the board, bringing another king. He checks. I check back, and the river is an 8 of hearts. He checks again. Now I feel safe. I bet 15 for value against ace high and smaller pocket pairs. He thinks for a while and eventually starts laughing. Says he has a pair, but all he can beat are deuces and 4s. He can't imagine I have those, so he makes a big laydown for $15.
I saw like 10 hands in a row.
I can't see you having 4s.
I busted
The only
them
pair I
all.
can do. Deuces or 4s.
Next we have pocket jacks in the cutoff. It folds to us, and I raise to 15. Cancel that. We couldn't see the 9 seats cards. The 1 seat folded, and he didn't act yet. He He actually decides on a raise to 30, so he goes a little bit bigger than normal. I make the call, and Button quickly slides out a stack for a 3-bet to 95. He has about 440 left. Original raiser calls, and easy call for 65 more. We go 3 ways to a flop of 5-4 deuce rainbow. Great flop for jacks. First player checks. I check to the aggressor, and the gentleman ships it all in for 435. Next player folds, and action's on us. So he's been repping queens or better from the start of this hand, and to jam all in with 2 opponents behind, I feel like there's a pretty good chance that he does have us beat. I have no info on him yet, other than he's much older. Even if he has ace king, ace queen, he still has nearly 40% equity in the hand versus my jacks. I don't know, it's really close here. You guys seen me put a lot more money in with way worse hands, but this time I decide on a disciplined laydown here. It just doesn't seem worth it against this particular opponent. I ask him to show the bluff. He doesn't. He later tell me though that I had it right, but we'll never really know. So we save some money there, maybe. Next we have Queen 9 suited from middle position. Player on my right limps, and I raise it to 20. Button calls and early limper calls. So we go 3 ways to a flop, 10-8-5 with 2 diamonds. Big flop for us with flush draw and gutter to the nuts. First opponent checks. I bet 35, looking for some action on this hand, but both players fold. Next we have pocket 7s from under the gun. I open for 15. It folds back to the big blind who defends. He makes the call. Heads up to a flop of 10-3-3 with 2 diamonds. Pretty safe flop against a tighter player from the big blind. He checks, and I bet 15. He quickly tosses out a call, so we're thinking he might have a 10, maybe some overs, maybe a flush draw. Turn brings a 9 of hearts. He checks again. We're probably not getting value from worse here, so no need to turn our hand into a bluff. It's pretty strong with pocket 7, so I check back for a free river card, which brings another 10. He checks again. I think he's likely to put in a bet here at some point with a better hand than us, so I go for some value with a bet of 15, maybe against ace high, some smaller pairs. And this time he does make the call, and we have him notched as he flashes pocket 6s. It's a small pot, but finding some value here in these spots when you can is really important if you're trying to elevate your game. Next we pick up pocket 10s from middle position. Under the gun player raises to 15. Action folds to us, and I put out a 3-bet to 45. Folds back to the original raiser who just calls. We go heads up to a flop, 9-9 deuce with 2 spades. Pretty nice flop for 10s. Checks it to us, and I continue with a bet of 50. He eventually puts out a call. The turn is the money card, 10 of spades. We turn the nut full house, and the spade flush gets there. He checks it over to us. We figure he must have something to call that bet on the flop. Could be 8-9 suited, pocket deuces, maybe a flush draw, or maybe he's just looking to make a play at this pot. So instead of checking back here, I like a bet to maybe induce a raise. And also, if he does have a hand like that, he's going to be putting some more money in anyhow. So I eventually decide on a bet of 60, and he goes into the tank. As he's in the tank, I'm really feeling a check raise is coming. Come on, pull the trigger. Have a hand or turn one into a bluff. That's what we're hoping for, but 20 seconds go by or so, and he eventually finds the fold button. We chatted a little bit after the hand. He had pocket 7s with the 7 of spades. He said if I check back that turn, he's going to fire the river, but couldn't find the trigger on the turn there. Even though it didn't go as expected, I still like the bet on the turn. Against your average guy, I probably do check back that turn and see what he does on the river, but against a good player here, I thought it was a good spot to bet. Maybe he turns his hand into a bluff, or maybe he actually has a hand and we get some more money in the middle there. So pretty happy overall. He just made a nice disciplined laydown. We pick up pocket kings and win one more small pot, not even worth mentioning, just a raise pre-flop. C bet on the flop takes it down. With that one, we're going to call it a day. Only played an hour and a half. In for 1,500, out for 21.69. We'll catch you at the end of the video. Alright guys, that's it for episode number 25. Hope you enjoyed the hands, all the premium hands. Pretty easy session today when you get hit with the deck. Didn't even have to get out of line at all. But I don't know what was going on. For some reason I had bad vibes tonight. I walked in one room, walked right out, didn't like the feeling, and then went right to the win. Kind of had a similar feeling. So it must have just been me. Do you guys ever get that? You walk in, feel like you're going to lose or just don't want to play in there? I don't know. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, booked a nice little win. As always, the stats after every session. Keeping track of those as we go along here. Need to get back to that 10K mark. We have a 25K goal by November. So hopefully we can get some more hours in and hit that. If you're new to the channel, I normally post videos every Sunday, so this is a bonus video. It was short, so I was able to finish it up pretty quick. So tune back in on Sundays normally for the next video. Stay to the end for a trick shot. Appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing. Drop some comments below, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.
Yes!